Hello. So today we're going to talk about God's everlasting covenant. I like to think of it as a commitment or promise that He's made. Before I go into the scripture and into the main meat or main course of my message today, I have a request from you guys. My request is simple. I want you guys to leave in the comments below a commitment or promise you made to someone or something and how you kept it. How do you make sure that you keep this commitment or promise? If you leave that down below, I'm curious to see how you guys do this, how you go through your process. And now, time for the scripture. So, the scripture actually comes from Genesis chapter 9. In Genesis chapter 9, basically, it starts off with Noah, and they're in the ark, the waters are receding, and they make landfall. As they make landfall, they open up things, they're coming to this land, and God gives what we call the everlasting commitment or covenant. And basically, what he says is, he's in a nutshell, God says, you know what, I realized that I was a little bit hasty and a little bit drastic in eliminating everything, killing everything. Um, I'm going to not do that anymore. So here's my commitment to you, or my covenant. What I'm going to do is I'm going to promise from this day forth, I will not wipe out everything. I'm not just going to throw it all away. To prove my covenant with you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a sign that I keep my promise, and that is going to be a rainbow whenever it rains. You see the mist in the sky, you'll see a rainbow. That is my proof of my commitment to you guys that I will not do this again. And why is that important? Why are we talking about the everlasting covenant today? Well, this happens to be the first Sunday of Lent. Now, Lent typically is a period of time where we give up something in order to get more time to reflect in preparation for the crucifixion, as well as, of course, Easter. So it starts this Sunday, is the first Sunday of it. And in the past, a lot of people, whenever they hear of Lent, they're like, okay, I got to give up something and then I'll pick it back up after Lent. Basically, go through a hardship. Now, a lot of times, some of the hardships that people go through are not that drastic. In the past, it used to be really drastic because, in a way, we had to humble ourselves in a way. And when you humble yourselves, then you start to do this thing that fills in for that thing that you stopped doing. Basically, for example, stop eating a certain type of food. In that case, it used to be meat. And then basically, because you're giving up meat, you're not going to be eating a huge dinner. You're going to have more time to pray or worship or read the book, scriptures. Spend more time with God, fill in that void of having that huge dinner. So that was a way that we showed our promise that we would basically focus and become more closer to God. But there that only lasts for a couple months. Like I said, after that, then a lot of people go right back to it. So what I'm trying to think of is with this great covenant, is there a promise that we make that can um, sure that we're going to keep it for a longer period of time than just a couple months? And it got me thinking about weddings. Now, when you go through a typical wedding service, basically you have a gold ring on your hand or finger. Um, and then you make a promise for better or worse till death do you part. It's everlasting promise, pretty much. You're stuck with that person for the rest of your life. That's what you're promising. And it got me thinking that the symbolism of their commitment is the wedding bands. So what do we have to prove that our commitment with God? When we got in the waters of baptism, when we said we're going to be a follower of you until the end of our lives. And in some churches and some groups, there really is no physical symbol to recognize or represent our commitment. And what I want or would love to see is having a physical symbol, something to remind us of our promise, just like God has the rainbow. Uh, we need to have something as well, something that we can look at, whether it's periodically or daily. In my case, it happens to be a very small, battered silver ring, actually steel. It's not silver. It's made out of stainless steel. If you know me, you probably see me wear it from time to time. That piece of jewelry is the only jewelry that I've worn for the longest period of time. And on that piece of jewelry is this little cross. I got that ring when I made a commitment to God to be a leader to young adults as well as fellow people. I needed that reminder. So ever so often I wear that ring and I renew my promise to God that I made that faithful day many years ago to be a better person, to be a not only a person who studies and follows the word, but also one to help explain it to others. So as we go throughout our days, let's find something. Can't, you don't have to tell me what it is. You can make it personal. Something that you have or you see on a daily basis that helps you remember your commitment with God, being a follower of Jesus Christ. Make that your commitment. Make that your symbol to remind you of your commitment that you have, and this will be a better way of keeping that promise. So I thank you guys so much for paying attention and tuning in to this message today. May God bless you. May you find peace and happiness throughout this upcoming week. And until next time, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.